Hey, closet busters and bold move makers. It is time once again for Life Uncloseted. So I want you to gather around because it is time once again to kick down those closet doors of your life. We're here to escape our BS, explore our fears, and elevate our self-expression. I'm your host, Rick Clemons. I'm the bold move expert and that coming out guy who's going to take you to the party, the pulpit, the wake, and back to the party of living your life uncloseted. So come on along with me and grab hold of yourself and get ready to step out, step up, and step into facing your fears, making your bold moves, and living life without apologies. Now let's get to the show. Hey, podcast listeners. Yes, you notice I said podcast listeners. This is a dual show. What I mean by that is I am recording this little ditty of a show for both my Life Uncloseted family of listeners and my 40 plus Real Men, Real Talk, because I thought it'd be really cool to kind of do a combined show where I dole out the same content for both of my audience. And first of all, I want to say, as we're heading into the new year, because one of you are going to hear this right before the new year, and one of you is going to get it right on the new year, Happy New Year's to everyone. And one of the things I love to do for New Year's is I love to create a fuck it list. Yes, not a bucket list. Well, I do that too. But I love to create a fuck it list. And what's interesting is a fuck it list can actually show up on my bucket list. They can both go together. So what is a fuck it list? I think most of us kind of get it just by the way I'm saying it. Fuck it is like, screw it, done. Okay. Now, this may not be like screw it done with a relationship, but it could be. It could be screw it done with trying to lose weight. It could be screw it done with the job. But what I'm looking at is the deeper stuff. The stuff that's like, okay, I'm no longer going to tolerate that. Now, that could be a job. It could be a relationship. It could be getting better. It's kind of early as I'm recording this, but better physical shape. But I'm going for the deeper stuff. But before we get to some examples of the deeper stuff, let's go to how we create your fuck it list. First of all, you just have to be able to say, I want to make a fucking list. Or you want to say, I want to make a fuck it list. Whatever that voice in your head says, yes, I want to make a fuck it list for 2020. So as we start, grab your pens and paper because this is important. Number one, why is it important for you to make a fuck it list? And it doesn't have to be long. It can be one or two things. But why is it important for you to put those things on the list? And I want you to get very specific here. Because the why, as Simon Sinek says, if you don't know who he is, you must be living under a rock. But I know a lot of people may not know who he is unless you're in the entrepreneurial world. Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, is the start with why guy. If you don't know your why, everything else really doesn't matter. So why do you want to put these things on the list? Why do you want to take, action and move forward on those two things? Second, give yourself permission to put them on the list and take action. So the why is helping you understand why you're going to do it. But now we can know why, but if we don't give ourselves permission, we will not take that action. So as you begin to give yourself permission, I want you to step into phase number 3 is to get really curious. Get curious about what this is going to do for you, how you want to do it, what effect it's going to have on your life. Why, we're kind of back to the why. We already kind of addressed that, but I want to get deeper into the why this is really going to be something that you are going to let yourself get done this year. It could be who you need help from, all the who, what, where, when, why, and hows. Okay. So get really curious. Get curious about somebody else that you might have seen do what you're about to do. Get curious about those who have failed at it. Get curious about why you have tried and failed. Get really super curious and start answering those questions. And once you get curious, so you've got the why, the permission, the curiosity, it's time to commit. Now, when you commit, I'm going to give you a little formula that I want you to use, and I want you to attempt to do this in this way. So the formula is A, I, M as in Mary. A stands for acceptable minimum. So if you're putting something out there like, I want to, lose some weight. Well, what's the acceptable minimum weight you want to lose? What's the ideal amount to weight? That's what the I stands for, is the ideal. So what's the ideal amount of weight? And then what's the middle? So somewhere between the acceptable. So let's say the acceptable minimum is 10 pounds. The ideal would be 30. So what's in the middle? We're going to go with 20. just because 10, 20, 30, you know what I'm saying? Those give you kind of a framework to work from. Now, the middle is the stretch goal. The ideal would be, oh my God, I actually made it happen. But as humans, we need a little bit of a, guide here to get things done. So as you commit, whatever it is, and when we get to talking about some examples, I'll bring the aim back up. So again, acceptable minimum, ideal, and the middle, which is the stretch. Okay, so we're committing using aim. Once you get the aim, muster it up. You've got the why, the permission, you've been curious, you got the commitment. I want you to muster up the confidence. And how do you do that? Say, what do I need to be confident about this? This is a what question. What do I need to be confident? Because the more confident you are that you can do this, the higher the likelihood that you're going to make it happen. So what do you need to remain confident or to be confident? And actually, I would kind of encourage you to do both. What do you need and what do you need to remain confident? Okay? And finally, be consistent in every action you take against your fuck it list. Be completely consistent. Know that fuck it, I'm going to do this. Fuck it, I'm going to make this happen. Fuck it, I'm going to let go of this. Fuck it, I'm going to not allow myself to get sucked in. Whatever it is, and we're going to go into examples here momentarily. So for examples, since I brought that up, let's go. And these are real true 2020 ones that I am playing with. I haven't finalized my fuck it list yet, but these are ones that I am playing with. And I'm going to read through all of them, then I'll come back and pick a couple of them to do the aim on. So my first one is my fuck it to stop holding others accountable for what they won't or can't change. I'm saying fuck it. I'm no longer going to hold those people accountable. That doesn't mean I'm saying, oh, it's okay to be with them. I'm just saying I'm going to quit holding them accountable for the things that they can't or won't change and letting that energy go so that I can be more at peace, because sometimes I'm spending too much energy like, they just changed it. It's not worth it. Second thing I am doing, ironically, is second guessing myself. I'm fucking it with second guessing. When I have an idea, I'm going to quickly assess. Not like spontaneously, let's just do it, but I'm going to quickly assess, do a quick little, can I do this? How can I do it? When could I do it by? And I'm going to be in the mind frame that I could do it instead of second guessing. And I'm either going to say, yes, I'm going forward, or no, I'm not. And then once I say no, then I'm not going to look back. If I'm saying yes, I'm not going to look back. This is definitely something that I am going to say fuck it to, especially going into 2020 for many, many, many reasons. One of them being politics for sure, that I'm saying fuck it to needing to win or to be right. I'm just saying fuck it. If I win in my own mind, if I'm right in my own mind, and I know this is going to be one of the toughest ones for me this coming 2020, I don't always have to be win, but I do kind of like to be right or recognized for stuff. Ironically, my love language is words of affirmation. So that makes sense. If you haven't read that book, The 5 Love Languages, I would highly suggest you read that one. Another one is following and doing things like a sheep blindly, like doing things in my business just because, I think everybody else is doing this, I'm going to do it, or going and doing something else. I am definitely saying fuck it to that. I did a lot of that this year, of saying fuck it to like following blindly some things in my business. And I'm so glad I did, because a lot of good things happen. I'm also saying fuck it to procrastination, because I'm waiting for perfection. No more procrastinating and no more perfection. And finally, allowing people into my life that don't deserve to be there. I'm saying fuck it to that. So how does AIM work with this? Let's take that last one. Allowing people into my life that don't deserve to be there. So how do I apply AIM? First of all, the acceptable minimum could be, how many people do I need to look at to say, I'm going to get rid of this many people? What's the maximum number that I'm going to get rid of? Could be the same number, but it could be, I'm going to be kind of wishy-washy, because really I'd like to get rid of 10 people, but there's 3 that I really want to kind of slow the relationship down, and maybe I'll go for 6 or 7. Okay, so you see how that worked? Second guessing. Let's kind of take that one, because this one's kind of obtuse. You're going to go, well, how are you going to do AIM? Well, I'm going to say that for the first month of the year, I'm only going to allow myself a minimum of X number of second guesses. Ideally, I would like to really not allow myself X number of second guesses. So whatever that number is. And then the stretch in between would be, I'd like that middle number. So you see how this is starting to play out? Let's take one more. Follow like a blind sheep. So I get a lot of offers to like, oh, do this course, learn this, become right? So what I'm going to do is say once a month or twice a month is the acceptable minimum that I will consider an offer. Ideally, I'm going to eliminate at least 10 of those offers. But knowing how all this stuff comes at me, I may have to consider 4 to 5 before I can get down to my acceptable minimum 1 to 2. So again, we're just kind of moving things around. So let's run through again, how do we start the fuck it list? We start with why. Why is it important? Then we give ourselves permission to go act and do our bucket list, but we got to get really curious. How are we going to do it? What are we going to do? When are we going to do it? Who do we need help from? All that sort of stuff. And then we commit. And with commitment, we set some, here's how I'm going to stay committed to this, which also goes along with number 5, which is confidence. And we determine how we're going to maintain our confidence. What do we need to remain confident? And how are we going to maintain confidence? And finally, we are going to be in consistent action on our 2020 fuck it list. So I would love to hear from some of you and love to see your fuck it list. So here's how we're going to do this. On Instagram, find the Rick Clemons and share your fuck it list. Email me, rick@rickclemons, CLEMONS.com. You can email me your fuck it list and I will probably share some of these. I won't say your name. I'll respect your privacy, but I would love to see some of the fuck it lists. You could also go, not so much to Twitter, but you could tweet me, one of the things you're saying, fuck it to. Again, Rick Clemons is the Twitter. And you can even go into Facebook and find the official Rick Clemons Facebook page. I'll list all these on the website. So when you hear this, go back to my website, go to the podcast, go to the Life Uncloseted or Real Men, Real Talk podcast, where this podcast will be posted. And you'll see where you can hook up with me, not literally, unless you're really, really cute. I'm just kidding. But where you can hook up with me and share your fuck it list. I would really love to hear these as we go into the new year. So once again, start with your why, give yourself permission, get curious, commit to it, be confident, and then consistently take action on your 2020 fuck it list. And with that, have a happy new year. Wishing you all the best in 2020 to both my Life Uncloseted and my 40 plus Real Men, Real Talk listeners. Be well, take care, and never stop stepping up, stepping out, and stepping into dumping your excuses, facing your fears, and living your life without apologies. Hey, Life Uncloseted family. Another episode of Life Uncloseted has come to an end, and it is time for all of us to sashay away and go face our fears, make those bold moves, and stand up to living our life without apology. But before you do, I've got a favor to ask of you. Would you hop over to iTunes or Spotify or Podbean or wherever it is that you're listening to this and just give us a little bit of love if you like what we're doing here at Life Uncloseted. Here's what it does. It helps other people find the show. It helps other people get to know what we're all about. And you just might help change a life. In fact, if you really want to change a life, we'd love it if you just ask a friend to take a listen and see what they think. So that's it. Love you all deeply. I'm Rick Clemons, the host of Life Uncloseted, and never stop stepping out, stepping up, and stepping into living your life uncloseted.